Hello everyone, I hope that you guys are having an amazing day. My name is Gautam and I'm back with another exciting video. So before we jump into today's video, I want to give a very simple task. All you have to do is open your web browser, go to google.com and search for the most popular and easy programming language. What did you find? Did you find Python listed here? So guys, nowadays Python is the most easy and powerful programming language among developers. But why so? So here are the top 3 reasons for which the Python language is considered the most powerful language. Reason number 1, because of its easy syntax. It's very easy to write code in Python programming language. For example, if you want to print a very simple statement, that's how you do it in Java. This is how you do it in JavaScript. That's how you do it in C, C++ and Python. Now you can be the judge for yourselves. Reason number 2, it's a very versatile language. For example, if you learn Python properly, you can do a lot of things using this single programming language. For example, you can do website development, you can do game development, you can do all sorts of things around data science and machine learning, plus you can run your hardware as well. So that is how versatile Python is. Reason number 3, large community support. So guys, a lot of developers are learning Python nowadays, and if you face any challenge in Python, all you have to do is just go to the internet and look up for the solution. And there will be n number of platforms with the solution. So that is how diverse the community of Python is. So makers, I'm pretty sure that you guys are excited by now and want to learn this language. But now the question is, where should I start? Is there any platform that offers a very easy way to learn Python? So guys, Avishkar has launched a new Python mode which lets you learn Python very easily. So let's see it in action. Alright guys, now I'm sitting on my chair and we are into the programming mode. Let the magic begin. So the first step is to sign in with the website, and for that you have to visit www.avishkar.cc and hit enter. Next thing, you have to click on the sign in button. And let me quickly enter my phone number. I find it very convenient to log in with my phone number. Let me click on login with OTP and let's see if I've got an OTP or not. Okay, it's there. It's 623416. Let's click on verify. And we have successfully logged in with the website. So now guys, let's click on the AMS button which is on the top right corner, and you'll see all the possible options available. So I'm pretty sure that you might have figured out that we have to click on this Python option. Let's click on this Python button again and we are into the Python mode. So let's click on this notebook which is Python Pyodide and let's see what happens. Wow, this is a notebook based editor guys. Now I'm pretty sure that you are wondering that how is it different from a normal editor. So basically in notebook based editor, you can write your code in different cells and you can run these cells independently, which means that whenever you are debugging it, it's going to save us a lot of time. So guys, don't worry, it will make much more sense when we'll see our projects practically. Alright guys, so for our first project, let's keep it very simple. Let's start with a simple calculator project which is going to help you in your mathematics class. So now to create a calculator, we just have to take input from the user of numbers and of the operator. Next, we have to compare what kind of operator the user has input, and depending upon that, we have to calculate appropriately. So let's see in our computer screen. In the first cell, using the input function, let's take input from the user. So number 1 is equal to input. Enter the number 1. And let's do the same for number 2 as well. Oops. Number 2. And let me do one thing. Let me just to explain you the concept of different cells, let me just do that in a new cell. So I'll just click on this plus button and here we have a new cell. So now both of these codes are independent. So let me paste the line of code in this cell. Let me take another cell and do the same for operator. Input. Enter the operator. And I want to start off by giving very basic choices like addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. And in a new cell, let me just print all the things. Print number 1, number 2 and operator. Alright, so let me just run this. Okay, so enter number 1, 10. Let me just run the another cell. Enter number 2, it's 20. And I'm going to select the operator as plus. Let me just print this thing. What's this? Pyodide future finish result is equal to 10, 20 and addition. Oh, So basically we are running this code over the Pyodide kernel, and it's actually in the browser environment. So it's a smart thing to write the await keyword before the input. So let's see that in action. So all I have to do is just write here await, write await here as well, and I'll write await here as well. So let me just run this cell again. 10, 20 and plus. Let me just run this cell. So we have 10, 20 plus stored in our variables. Isn't it amazing, guys? So guys, in the next cell, using simple if-else statement, let's see what kind of operator the user have selected, and let's perform the appropriate calculation. So let's take up a new cell and see if the operator is plus. Then in that case, what do we have to do? We simply have to write result is equal to number 1 plus number 2. Simply logical, right? And let's see that if the operator which is selected by the user is subtraction. So result is equal to number 1 minus number 2. It's getting a bit repetitive, so let me just copy this. If the operator selected by the user is multiplication, I'll just simply multiply. And if the operator selected by the user is division, I'll simply divide. And before all of this, let me just initialize this result variable to 0. And in a new cell, let me just print the final result. So I'll use an F string. The result is, and I'll plug in the result variable. Alright, so let me just run this third cell and let's see what happens in the final cell. Alright, so result is 1020. Is it right? Is the addition of 10 and 20 1020 or 30? So guys, if you look carefully, it looks like this is 10 and this is 20 and someone have just merged this, right? So this is happening because the output or the return type of input function is actually a string. So you need to make sure that they are integers, which means we have to typecast them. Let's see that how. So in a new cell, after the operator or maybe after the print, I can simply write number 1 is int, right? So this will make sure that number 1 and number 2 are integers and not string. Okay, so let me just try this again. I'll enter the number 1 as 10, number 2 as 20, operator as plus. I don't need to print this part, so I won't be running this cell. Isn't it amazing, guys? If you don't want to run a specific piece of code, you simply don't run that cell. So now I'll just convert them to int, and this result is being evaluated and the final result is 30. And here we have completed the calculator. Let's just try it for one more operation. Okay, so let me just enter the number 1 as 20, number 2 as 3. I'll try with a different operator, let's say multiplication. I don't need to print the number 1 operator. Let me just type convert them to integer again. Let's calculate the result, and in the final cell, let's print the result. So 20 into 3 is 60, which is being printed here. Awesome, our calculators is working fine. So if you're wondering that how did I run this cell, so all you have to do is just hit Control and enter over the cell, and that will run the cell. Alright guys, so now that you have created a calculator project, let me tell you one more thing which is much more interesting. So guys, you can see that all of these cells are coding cells. Basically, they contain a specific piece of code. But what if I want to write a specific instruction above these cells? Like, what is the function of this cell? For example, this first cell is used to take the input for number 1, and this second cell is taking the input for number 2. What if I want to write this information in my code? How can I do that? So basically, you can create a new cell. Let me just go to this number 1. Let me create a new cell. Just click on this plus button and I'll move this cell in the upward direction. So basically, this cell is a coding cell, but I want to write a simple English text. So for that, you can actually go to this code drop down and select Markdown. So guys, Markdown is a very special language which helps you to format the plain text. For example, I want to write, let's take input for number 1. And if I just put a hash sign before it, and if I just press Ctrl and enter, so you can see that it has formatted my text. And this can be used as an instruction or maybe some kind of note for a person who is non-coder. Someone who is a non-developer will find this very useful. Let's do this for other cells as well. So let me just click on number 1, take a new cell. Let's take input for number 2. I'll put a hash sign again. And if I just, okay, so this is not a markdown cell. Let me just make it as a markdown cell. And here we are. Let's do this one more time for this result cell and you'll definitely understand what I mean by that. So the below block of code evaluates the result. Let me just make it as a markdown cell and let me put a hash. And here we are. So I'm pretty sure that you must have understood the difference between a coding cell and a markdown cell, right? Alright guys, so this calculator project was a pretty basic project, right? But I'm sure that you guys are excited to see some amazing projects that I created using Python. So let's look into that. So for that, let's open this clock file and let's run these cells. So this first cell will actually import the datetime module, which is necessary for creating the clock. And let's just run this another cell, which is printing the current time in a loop. Okay, so you can see that current time is 6 hours and 45 minutes and it's in PM. And the clock is ticking every second. So guys, have you ever wondered that what if I want to make a project where I can fetch the temperature of any location? So that is what we are trying to do in the next project. All you have to do is enter the location. It can be a city or a country and you'll see the temperature in real time. So for that, let me just open this first project, which is fetching temperature. Let's run these cells one by one. So basically this cell is importing the request module and now we have to enter the city name. For example, I want to get the temperature of Patna. Let's see what is the temperature of Patna. And now this fourth cell is basically the API key and the base URL. Let's run these cells quickly. And now in the final cell, we can see that the temperature of Patna is 19 degrees Celsius. Let's try it for one more city. Let me write here Delhi. City name is Delhi. API key and base URL is this. Response, and finally the temperature in Delhi is 14 degrees Celsius. So now the next project is quite interesting guys, because we'll be doing face detection and smile detection using Python. Like, sounds crazy, right? So let me show you an image. I'll go to this assets folder and I'll look for this image. So I'm pretty sure that you guys know that this is Virat Kohli. But what if I can detect the face in this image? So I have created a project for the same. And for that, let's go to this face detection project, which is located right here. Okay, this is the fifth project, which is face detection. So this could be done using CV2 library, and Matplotlib is used to plot the image. So let me just run this cell. Now the next cell is actually loading a face classifier, which will be detecting the face in the image. So let me just run this part. Now I'm loading the image and I'm detecting here the face, and finally I'm plotting it. Alright, so guys, can you see that? A blue colored rectangle is created around the face. Isn't it amazing? So for the next project, we'll try to detect a smile in the face. So let me show you the image. So this is an image and I'm pretty sure that you can see that one picture we have the smiling face and in the another part we don't have a smiling face, right? So let's see how we can detect the smile. So let's go to this smile detection. Again, we are using OpenCV and Matplotlib. Let's run the next cell, which is a classifier which is going to detect the smile. Let me load the image, smile.jpg. Let's do the detection and let's finally plot it using Matplotlib. Alright, so you can see that my classifier is able to detect the smile. So this is actually the working principles behind the face lock that we see in our phones. Isn't it amazing, guys? Alright guys, I have saved the best for the last. So in this last project, I have done something around the lines of machine learning. So we are trying to predict the score depending upon the study hours. For example, if Arun is studying for 1 hour, he has scored 35 marks. And if Karan is studying for like 10 hours, he has scored 95 marks in a test. Now I want to predict that what score will I get if I study for like maybe 6.5 hours. So for that, let's run the cell one by one. So in the first cell, I'm importing all the modules. This is my raw data, which have student names, study hours and test scores. Now this is a simple visualization of study hours versus test scores. So it's quite logical that if you study for more hours, your test score will gradually rise. Let's go on to the next cell. Okay, so here we are importing the linear regression model from our module. And let's run this. Let's see what the error is. And let's see this regression line. Okay, so basically this is the best fit line which you might study, which you might learn when you study linear regression in machine learning. So now guys, if my study hours are 9, what will be my score? Let's see that. So according to this model, I'll score 91.90 in my test if my study hours are 9. Let me just see if my study hours are 6.5 hours, what will be my score? So it will be 76.08. And what if I just study for 1 hour? Okay, so it's going to be 41.28. Not bad actually, right? Just kidding. So guys, are you ready to take your Python skills to the next level? Explore the Python mode, start building and see just how fun and powerful programming can be with Avishkar. See you in the next video. Till then, happy making. Bye.